Look at him run. Go Gumshoe. Save the day. Ooh, you've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Oh. What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know one thing for sure. Report now. The doctor said it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his middle back. From the victim's shoulder to the middle back, he was beaten over with such a wide area. Was he just beaten up with his own suitcase, or like the suitcase he was shoved in? Like, that's kind of brutal. Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign that the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Yow! She stopped saying fool. She used to say that a lot. Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way. What is all of that racket? My luggage, my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please, understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. He's gonna just... No, he's gonna turn and, oh, yep, he's running. Finally, I think he gave... Hey, what are you... Oh my goodness, there's gonna be another murder. Ah, you won't get past me. Oh. Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. Oh, he fell. Further, there's the matter to the key of the display case that held the murderous bank. We're also just gonna slowly watch this man fall. So he fell down the stairs, is what happened. So Cammy watched this guy walk back forward, and then she pushed him down the stairs. And we just watched Clown Man get... Oh, maybe he's okay. Weapon couldn't be found. Smuggling. I don't know which order to go in these in. I'm gonna go... Weapon couldn't be found and cause of death. Trying to connect it to the stairs. Nope. I'm just a little confused what to say, in what order. Okay, I'm gonna say cause of death and the pig bank, because that will disprove it. There we go. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there's extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? No, he fell down the stairs. The bruise from his shoulder to the back is one continuous mark. Oh, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back, or maybe not. In that case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. Okay, so it wasn't the stairs. A sizable weapon and smuggling, because we're gonna say it's a crate. Nope. Drat. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francisca? What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped. We didn't realize it until now, but I like that only Gumshoe is concerned about this guy. He's like, I think that guy almost died. The answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. They're like focused on their sibling rivalry. And Gumshoe's like, that guy might be dead. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Nope. Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. I don't have evidence to show, because I don't think it's in my inventory. It's too big for that. Maybe I don't have it in my inventory. You know what? I have some life to spare. No, wait, I don't have it. I'm gonna show this, but I don't have it. What is that supposed to mean, you fool? That was practice just now for when I would show you the real murder weapon. Why don't we add practice whippings to your routine as well? Arr! I didn't have it, so I don't think. Maybe I should be focusing on what could cause such a large bruise in one strike. I don't think I have the evidence for it. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. That's the part I love, is when she just says stuff like that. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should phrase it better. Phrase it as, that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of his death. Suffocation. Oh. A couple of these are the same. I'm gonna go strangulation, maybe? Oh, no, wait, not strangulation. My bad. I'm being stupid. That was my bad. Ouch. That was bad. Wait. Okay. I'm a bit not smart. Suffocation. Suffocation. No breathing. Free fall or suffocation. Maybe it was free fall. I'm kind of lost. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us this entire time. You can't mean. Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey you, tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet. Why are you screaming? He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that, but not when there was the exchange of cargo. I suppose it's true it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that a large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. We're totally ignoring Gumshoe. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. But we have that window of time. Ah, but there was. What? I'm gonna show the refueling. You refueled in the Republic of Shangfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Shangfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labeled Shangfa Express. Correct. Meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Shangfa. Yeah. Now what if the box in question was also loaded on at that same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Shangfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. But your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. Like we jump off to prove you could die at that height. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Oh god, I have so little health. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Aleph Red Statue. Never heard of it. Nor I. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. Oh, LeBlanc's like, no, that's my art. Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Eck, don't rush up on me like that, sir. Pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you think about my badge? I can see you have guts to show me a piece of art at a time like this. But from a single glance I can already tell it is mostly worthless. How dare you? Ha! This has much more value as a piece of non-art, I assure you. You look like you have something to say. You're right, it's not worthless. Perhaps you are thinking, like casting pearls before swine. He actually hit the nail on the head for once. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc? Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. The Aleph Red Statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. 10 million cents is like $100,000, which yeah, sure is a lot, but why would you say it in cents? Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn, how did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Please, someone give Gumshoe a raise. He needs more than just noodles in his life. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Rude. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so... Nice. I can do math. I took calculus 1 and 2. I know stuff. So that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. What if I gave you 1,000 cents for it? If I call it a very big number, I'm sure you won't mind. Want to examine it. First, I have to appease him. Maybe if I... What if I accuse him of smuggling, and saving my state before accusing him of smuggling so that I don't lose all my precious health? Nice. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Shangfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Talk to me. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. Is it or is it not filled with cocoons? I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't you say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please, show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says plain as day. The cargo was put on the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in this certificate. No, that's... Which means there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting here. I don't trust that. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right. It's not gonna be his statue. This, I know I've seen this somewhere before. Oh, it's been faked. This is the olive red. It gives us such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. And then we're going to show the picture. I believe a closer look is warranted here. We're going to show the picture we have. Or to be like, hey, this is a contradiction. These don't look the same. So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. I mean, alright, I'm gonna just straight up go for it. I don't know which part of it wants me to look at. I'm actually gonna focus on the eyes and go off of that. And let me pixel perfect this. I'm not gonna be able to pixel perfect that. There we go. I got it. Look at that eye. It's yellow. But look at this eye. What do you see? Red. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. No, let him dream. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah, sir, they're red. As I thought, this statue is a fake. So I'm kind of sad it's not filled with cocoons. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Alice Fred, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? Because it's big and a giant rock. And what capitalist doesn't, what art dealer doesn't want a giant useless rock? The trio started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... Mr. Edgeworth, you don't... I'm sorry, but you're very bad at giving sympathy. Or at least in a tactful way. What is that? Sympathy. For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. Look at the eyes, those special eyes. Your brand. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared... That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. Gumshoe's eyes gleam, but Edgeworth's not as much. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us, and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then. Oh. It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Wah! Wah! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. A fake? I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that it was brought on board in Shangfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Do I have one of those? Let's see, let me examine a bit around. What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its attitude, its owner's attitude in a sense. Ho ho ho. You, what did you say now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. Alright, so I think that's what we must deduce. Since it can't have been the one... So this is the cargo from Shangfa. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to present? There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ha! That's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Shangfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Shangfa. I'm so sad that it's not full of cocoons. Show me the cocoons. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity on board this flight. So you say, but I don't have reason to believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily expected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true, however, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until the plane had landed. But he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone who is involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Aw, man. It's gonna be Cammy. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, really, with a face like that? Like, if it's a souvenir, you're gonna be smiling. This guy is all far too much serious. It was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable key piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Shangfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Shangfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move this statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now. You tell him, Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the olive red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. Blood. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. Yeah, his deductions, not mine. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned up the blood well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? With the cloth. The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Shangfa. Yes, because otherwise, the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So, you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Shangfa. There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then this throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Shangfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Miss Camomile's, oh yeah, I've been calling her Milla, but it would have been Meals. Miss Meals' testimony. Wow, I just realized. Whoops. Recall Miss Meals' testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Shangfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service call, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? 'Cause she's the murderer. I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. Now I'm gonna be... Why is there so many to be continues? No, we gotta stay the course. I'm finishing this.